I wonder if we could talk a little bit about the data, and you had mentioned age gender targeting. Can you also target on segmentation?
Yeah.
And what about networks that may not be measured by Nielsen but want to sell on age and gender? So if you can talk a little bit about all of that.
Right, and I'll start with the first issue. But if you think about Nielsen, and also, well, just think about the deals that are being done, the vast majority are still being done on age and gender, and I don't see that changing this year to any huge extent. But what we are seeing is that secondary guarantees and secondary targeting for product categories and segmentation, first-party data coming into the mix as well. Those are being considered as part of the deal as well. So you're still doing your deal on age and gender, but you're also looking at a relevant advanced target. And those data are coming from various sources. The MRI Fusion is one that is familiar to a lot of both buyers and sellers, and so it's quite an easy place to start a discussion. Nielsen Buyer Insights, which has the credit card data matched with the panel, NCS, Nielsen Catalina. A lot of data has been integrated onto the Nielsen panel to enable these discussions to take place and for these transactions to happen. And as I say, we're seeing first-party data as well. So if a client has a particular target based on whatever data they have, and that data is matched to the Nielsen panel, then that can be run through the Clip platform and optimized. And I think I could see things moving in that direction where an advertiser and an agency has their own advanced target which they bring to the table. The media owner has their inventory. Put those together on the Nielsen panel and through the Clip platform, and then you can create the optimized deal for both the buyer and the seller. So that's we've already done some example deals like that. So that's an exciting development, really opening up the potential for advanced targets. As for smaller networks and getting those into the mix, there are developments that we're working on. I don't think I'm allowed to talk too much about them publicly though, but we are working on extending the capabilities so that some of these smaller networks, which are a little bit challenged by data, either because the Nielsen panel is really too small for these very low rated networks, or if the Rentrack data is not deemed to be accepted by agencies in the transactional process because it's difficult to integrate with the rest of the deal that's been done on Nielsen and so on. So there's definitely challenges there. We are working to address them.
Let's talk a little bit about addressable TV, addressable advertising, particularly in the arena of co-viewing. Can you give me some thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And the first thing I would say is that again, with programmatic, a lot of people think that it immediately means addressable, and within our definition at Clip, it doesn't have to mean that, and for linear TV there is still only a limited amount of addressability out there. Clip has worked with some addressable campaigns. But yes, we're entering an interesting world where as televisions become basically just like your computer, and ads can be served up at an individually addressable level. Individually means at a device level, it doesn't mean at a person level. That's true of course for laptops, it's true for tablets, and it's true for smartphones, but in those cases those tend to have more of a personal relationship, particularly smartphones and tablets, than say a TV does in the living room. So the idea of having addressable on television raises questions about who is it you're actually addressing, and it's probably insufficient to think you can just stop at the device and say we're just addressing the device, because there will be different people viewing. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. I actually wrote a blog piece about that earlier this year called Beer and Diapers, the Programmatic Challenge, which I'd forgotten about until I was in a meeting earlier today, and somebody mentioned it. And this came from some work we did a long time ago when we were first validating data fusion. We went to a cable company and we demonstrated that one of their networks indexed high for both beer and diapers. And I was really nervous about this because it seemed sort of counterintuitive. But anyway, we presented it, we checked it and all looked okay. And the client said, yeah, you're right, we've got our own research and we know we index high for beer and diapers, and we've looked into it a bit further, and what happens is a lot of people with first-time babies and first-time parents with babies are sitting at home and they buy beer to drink at home, and that's picked up by the home scan panel. This was the home scan panel that we were using, so it was true. So it raises an issue about addressability, doesn't it? And could you have a piece of creative that has a responsible, caring parent holding a baby in one hand and a beer in the other? I don't think so. I don't think that's a very good creative idea, but it does raise issues about addressability. What ads are you going to serve up? Maybe both, a beer ad and then a diaper ad.